guys, it's Laura here and thank you so much for joining me today. We're back in The Sims 4 building a base game only home. That's right duckies, you heard me correctly. This is a base game only family home for your Sims. So if you haven't got all the packs or you have some but not the others, then don't worry, Laura has got you covered. So like I said, today we are in The Sims 4 and so I'm building a base game only family home, and this home is ideal for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sims. So the rooms I built, there's a master bedroom for the parents, there is a it's kind of a teenage boys room, however, you know, a girl could be in it. You can have whoever you want living in that room, and there's a twin toddler room as well. So the idea behind this basically came from YouTube. So I've been seeing lots of base game only speed builds. My favourite at the moment is the series that Miss Sim Reno has been doing. So if you don't know who she is, please do go and check out her channel. She is incredibly talented. She has like the sweetest voice and the coolest builds, and she's done like loads of really awesome base game only builds. So I decided after watching a couple of her videos that I would go ahead and try one for myself. And you know what, like I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. Like it took me a while to get going. I did bulldoze the lot maybe once or twice because it just wasn't looking how I wanted it to. I couldn't quite get into the groove. But eventually we did settle on this very sort of typical American style suburban home, I would call this. We don't really have houses like this in the UK, I don't think. I mean, maybe like out in the real suburban areas of England. But even then, a lot of British homes are terraced, which means that they're built side by side, which is just impossible to do in The Sims unless you build on a larger lot and build like a load of smaller homes, which is something that I definitely want to do in the future, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, this build didn't take too long to sort of come together once I knew what I wanted to do, once I kind of found the direction I was going in. So a little bit about what I'm doing right now. So basically my building process, if you want to call it that, is I will start with the exterior of the build, and then I will kind of work on the front of the build, like the landscaping in the front, unless I'm completely stumped with what direction I want to go in. But typically I will start with the outside front of the house and then go into the inside, and then at the end come back outside and do the back garden. So at the moment I'm working on the outside, and I use a lot of the debug plants because I feel like base game is a struggle, you know, like there's not many options for stuff, and I definitely struggled. Like I had to keep turning the base game category only on the menu, and every time you I drop an object, it resets everything, so I had to keep checking that I had base game on, and I'm useless at remembering which items are in like which pack. So I'd look at something and I'd be like, that doesn't feel base game, and then I check and it's not. It's like tiny living or eco lifestyle or whatever, so I had to keep checking that I was actually using base game. But I felt like the debug menu has so many awesome options for like plants and for exterior decorations, so I definitely found it beneficial to pull out that menu, and I used some like base game ivy out the front. Wow, I actually just proven myself completely wrong with what I just said. I'm in the back already. I must have taken like one look at the floor plan and thought, nah, I'm not ready for this confusion yet. But usually I will actually do the inside before I do the outside. But I think this is all I do on the outside. I just think I just put down the plants and then I leave it. There's a good example of me playing with objects and not realizing that base game only isn't checked. So that white picket fence, it came with, I think it's Get Together. It might be City Living, I'm not entirely sure, but it's one of those expansion packs, and I was so excited to use it because I felt like a white picket fence would have made this build so perfect. But yeah, I couldn't use it, so that's annoying, but you know what, these are challenges for a reason. And yep, so back in the garden again. I'm sorry guys, I really thought I built this differently. I have to really watch back my videos before I do voiceovers, huh? Like, this is embarrassing. But yeah, we're in the back garden and just putting down some more plants. I had to use the monkey bars and I had to use the hot tub that came with the birthday pack. The birthday update last year, because it's the only hot tub that we have in the game that's base game. And don't get me started with that silly surprise from last year. Like, I'm still really angry about it, but I guess they've made up for it this year with the patch being so amazing. Like, if you haven't updated your game yet, please go and update your game, because the items that we got that was created by simmers in the community, they are chef's kiss. Can I get an amen? We finally have some nice wooden tables. We've got beautiful side tables and closets that are all the same color. Oh my goodness, like seriously. And I'm so pleased that the Sims team reached out to the community and used some of the CC creators, because I feel like they just don't get enough praise and enough like support, you know, like, because they saved our butts I don't know how many times, you know, with like mod fixes and CC that just is beautiful and way better than anything we have in the game most of the time. So I feel like we need to have a day of appreciation for modders in the community and CC creators in the community. So if you're with me, then let's start a hashtag. Let's start a, I don't know, justice for CC creators or support CC creators. I'm pretty sure that's probably already a hashtag. So if you do find one, then, you know, use it and share it with me. So just in case you aren't aware, I am on most of the social media platforms. I'm definitely on Instagram, I'm definitely on Twitter. I have a Twitch account. I do plan on streaming. I have no idea when. I sort of haven't looked that far ahead because my Wi-Fi is pretty shoddy most of the time. Like, it's annoying. So I can sit down at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday and stream perfectly privately with like one person watching, like my friend watching, to see that everything is okay. But then anytime I actually go to stream, nothing works. Like, seriously, nothing works. It's a friggin' nightmare. So I do plan on streaming soon, and I will update you all when I go live on Twitch. Hopefully you want to see me build. I mean, I don't know how interesting and fun they could be hilarious. I mean, I know some really bad dad jokes, and I have no problem busting them out live if things turn south. So if you want to see me make a complete idiot of myself and, you know, just messing around in the game, you want to see how these builds sort of come together from start to finish, you want to see some gameplay maybe, you want to see me fail miserably at the something Simlish challenge, surviving Simlish challenge, then go ahead. My links are all down below in the description box, so follow me on Twitch, and when I go live you'll be notified. So I feel like we should probably get back to the build. So we've already done the kitchen, so sorry that I waffled on through that. We're now in the dining room, so I'm just working on a nice little console table under the window there, which is one of the CC pieces from the update. I believe that's by Peacemaker. He is so talented, guys. Like, if you don't know who he is, then do go on Tumblr and check out his account. He's got some amazing CC objects. So I'm really glad that he got to be part of the patch update. So yeah, I'm just in the dining room and trying to decorate it as much as possible. Like, it's really difficult to furnish with just base game, and granted the update made things a lot easier, but it still took a while for me to really find which objects I wanted to use. So now we're in the living room, and I decided to keep this very kind of old school looking, like, you know, 90s-esque with the TV display unit, and I tried to fit in the sofa, which is an unlockable careers object, but it was just too big and I couldn't really get it to fit, and I definitely knew that I wanted to have 2 sofas, so this was like the best compromise, I suppose. And now I'm working on this little like hobby room, I guess. So there's like the bookshelves, there's a chess table, there's the comfy chair, which I moved from the living room and put it in that little in the corner, which you'll see me do now. So yeah, I decided to put that there, and I hung a painting up in its place. I did kind of play around with the colours of everything a few times, but in the end I feel like it's quite sweet, it's quite cozy, it kind of feels realistic, it feels like a bit of a time warp. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it does feel like I've just stepped into, you know, 1998 or something. But I'm pleased with how it turned out. And it's a very neutral, like this whole house is very neutral. I feel like I used a lot of sort of nice wooden tones, like the floorboards are quite dark, the wall coverings have that dark wood, but the furniture is mostly kind of a mixture between light and dark, and I feel like I kind of nailed it with the style. So now I'm in this little space by the back garden, and so I had this childminder when I was a kid, and she had like 2 kids, and she looked after me and my younger brother when my parents were at school. And in their house they used to have like a conservatory, which was linked to the living room, so you like walked into the living room and then out into the conservatory, and her kids were like ridiculously spoiled. Like, they had so many toys, and their bedrooms were quite small, so they decided, like the parents decided to turn the conservatory into like a playroom for them, which is insane, just because they had too many toys. It was madness. So basically, when we would go and stay at this woman's house during the day when my parents were at work and like after school and stuff, we would be like put in the conservatory, the door would be shut, and we would just have like full reign of the conservatory and all these kids' toys. So I kind of like took that idea kind of, and I decided to make that little area just a play area for like the children and the toddlers. So that was a cool idea. I've just completely waffled over the half bath. Not much to see there, guys. It's just a toilet and a sink right by the front door. I feel like most houses have that kind of thing. I mean, my parents have a small bathroom right by their front door. I live in a flat, so I don't have that luxury, which is annoying, but I kind of like to claim I have an ensuite because my bedroom is literally across the hall from the bathroom, so wishful thinking, you know. So I'm just back in the kitchen adding a few more some more decorations, and here I'm using the tool mod just to reposition the mop. I thought like that was quite realistic to have like a mop and bucket in your kitchen. I have like my own mop in the kitchen and my parents have a mop in their kitchen, so it's base game and I needed something to fill that space, so it just worked perfectly. It is something that I would usually put in houses as well, like whether it's a base game or not. I feel like every house needs a mop or a brush or something for cleaning purposes, so it just adds a bit more realism. And so I'm just sort of now back in the living room adding some more decorative objects. So I'm just noticing while watching this back that I really move around this house so many times, and it's probably because I just struggled with making this base game and I wasn't really sure which order to do everything in, because like I just couldn't decide on which objects to use. I mean, yeah, there's a serious lack of objects, but the ones we do have, it is also quite difficult to pick. So bear with me while the camera goes all over the place. But we're upstairs now and we're starting off in the bathroom. This is the family bathroom. So I put down some little toys and sponges in the corner there. Another just cute little realistic space filler. Again, it's all base objects, base game objects, so it's quite cute. And now we're in the master bedroom where the parents are. So this was actually it was quite difficult to like furnish this room because it's quite small. Like, I mean, if this was a real life bedroom, it would be pretty big, but in The Sims, because of the space needed for like routing and stuff, or routing I should say, it was difficult to furnish. And the bed is kind of in a weird position, like there wasn't enough space for me to put an actual side table down the side, so I did just use a shelf and put some books on it. And then I'm just trying to clutter up the corner here. I felt like that little chair was quite cute. It just kind of, it felt like it was a bit of an odd, out of place object, and maybe the family that live here have like taken furniture from their old house, and then when they've moved in here they've like made well, they've gone and bought all new furniture, and so this chair maybe was just left over. When I was growing up, after we moved into our first family home, so we used to live in like a masonette flat, which is basically a full house, but it is 2 front doors. So the upstairs is one flat and the downstairs is another flat. And when we moved, we ended up getting rid of our tables and like the dining table and the chairs in the kitchen, and we bought like a whole new set. So rather than chuck everything away, my parents decided to keep one of the chairs, paint it a really bright blue colour, don't ask me why, but they painted it this like really obnoxious blue colour, and they put it in my bedroom, and that just kind of became like a desk chair for me as I grew older and had like more furniture and stuff. So I always had like this weird blue chair in my room. It never matched anything in my house, but there we go, that's just repurposing furniture for you, I suppose. So now we're in the toddler room, and I tried to recreate sort of like a teapot tea party kind of thing, but it didn't really work out very well, and the teapot's not exactly child friendly, so I thought I'll scrap that idea. But I did end up putting that toy box on top of the closet there. I don't think it's usable, but don't worry, there is one downstairs. So this is kind of just for like decorational purposes. I thought it was quite cute, it matched, it's obviously the same swatch, so you know, what are you gonna do? I like to make things not functional from time to time just for decorational purposes. So we're almost finishing this room now. It is actually a really cute room. I quite like it. I like the colour scheme, and I like the messy clutteredness of it. And it's all functional apart from the toy box, so you can have your 2 toddlers in there and they'll be happy as clams. Now we are in the teenage bedroom. So like I said, this could be for a girl or a boy or whatever you want. I kind of made it look like this sim was big into music. There's like a guitar, they've got their guitar bedspread, and I just cluttered it with a load of teenage stuff, you know, like books and deodorants and body sprays and photo frames and messy clothes and all that kind of fun stuff. I even put a fishbowl on the floor. I mean, I don't know if that's really realistic, but I'm pretty sure I knew guys when I was growing up that had like weird pets, like snakes or spiders or lizards or whatever, you know, and they had them in like tanks in their bedrooms, and it was terrifying. Like, oh my goodness, I had one friend who had like one of those little corn snakes, I think it was a corn snake, it may have been something else, but it was one of those like black and red ones. Oh, it used to terrify me. And he used to play this horrible trick on me that like he'd get me to come over to his house to like hang out, and he'd have the snake somewhere else in the house, and he'd have like the empty cage with the lid open, and he'd be like, oh my gosh, my snake's escaped, like we have to find it, and I would literally die. Like I'd leave the house screaming. until he'd like tell me, oh no, it's fine, it's in my other brother's room in his cage, or it's down in the living room in that cage, and blah blah blah. Oh my goodness, like years of torture, honestly. So now we are almost finished with the build. I'm just heading outside now. And again, it's a very simple garden, just some trees and some bushes. You've already seen that the hot tub and the monkey bars are there. I just put down some more planters and a barbecue and a nice seating area, plus a couple of lounge chairs, and that's pretty much it. So we're coming to the end of the speed build, and I want to thank you so much for watching today. If you did like my video, then please do remember to subscribe. Do remember to push the bell button to be notified every time I upload a video, and let me know in the comments down below what you want to see me build next. Like, I'm always open for suggestions, I'm always looking for new ideas, so let me know what you think. Have a great day, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.